I am a 21-year-old petite woman. After spending a long time apart, last year, I finally got the chance to fly back to my boyfriend, Mark. This was my second time traveling through the air, so I was still nervous. I remember how early I reached the airport, panicking. What if I missed the flight? It was an early morning flight that took place on a foggy winter day. I even thought the flight would get canceled because of the weather. After the security checks and other formalities, I went to get a coffee. I just took the first sip when I noticed a boy around the age of 7 to 8 years old standing near the dustbin in the corner and staring at me. He was holding a candy wrapper which he was about to throw in the dustbin, but instead, I caught his eye and he paused. He was staring at me with wide, shocked eyes as if he couldn't believe that I was there. Few seconds went by, and when he still didn't move, I walked to him. "Hey, that's a cool t-shirt." He was wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt, and I thought to chat with him for a bit. Also, his stare was making me uneasy. I approached him just to break that. Hearing words of praise about his t-shirt, a big smile slowly appeared on his face. I mean, I know I shouldn't talk about a kid like this, but his smile was way more disturbing than his stare. What's your name?" "Are you playing with me?" "Huh?" "You know my name already." He said this with such confidence that, for a moment, I tried to recall if I knew this kid or not. "Sorry, kiddo, but I am meeting you for the first time." "Are you still angry with Daddy, Mommy?" "What?" I am not your mommy, sweetheart. You have me mistaken." "Is my son bothering you?" I turned back immediately after hearing a man's voice. A man in his late 40s was standing behind me with a serious face, but excessively bright eyes. After seeing his eyes, I had no doubt that he is indeed the father of this boy. Both of them had this disturbing stare. "No, your son must have me mistaken." "Yeah, my wife passed away recently. He is still trying to get over that trauma." Don't mind his words. "Calvin, let's go." The boy held his father's hand and started to walk away. He was constantly turning back and staring at me. The father-son duo was so weird that I stood there for another 10 minutes thinking about what just happened. The way the man spoke about his wife's death and his son's grief felt so lifeless to me, as if he had no emotion. I came back to my seat and got back to my coffee. The airport was almost empty. From my seat, I could see the entire waiting area without any obstacle. The father-son duo was sitting at some distance from me, but I still point out that wicked grin on that boy's face. He just couldn't stop smiling at me. There was 2 more hours before the flight and I was already feeling anxious to leave. When I travel, I always carry a book with me. I took out a novel from my backpack and started ignoring this creepy child. I must have dozed off while reading when I felt someone's breath on me. I opened my eyes but didn't see anyone near me. The father-son duo was gone. I saw the time and realized I have an hour more before boarding. Needless to say, I felt relieved seeing them gone. I had to pee, so I got up and started to look for the washroom. It took me 5 minutes to find it. A long corridor led to the washroom. It was so quiet around me that I could almost hear my heartbeat. I got inside and closed the door to do my business. While I was doing so, I heard a burst of laughter and running footsteps inside the washroom. The hair on the back of my neck stood up immediately. I know this laughter. I just heard it some time back. It's that creepy kid. But suddenly, I heard another heavy footstep entering the washroom. I thought the kid might have sneaked in again, and now his father is here to take him back. I didn't come out of the washroom. I waited for them to leave. After a few minutes, when everything got silent, I stretched my hand to open the lock, but immediately pulled back, hearing a whisper. 2 voices were whispering in a very weird way. What's wrong with these 2? Why can't they just leave me alone? I saw a shadow from the space under the bathroom door. I crouched down and peeked to see who was outside. As I tilted my head to look out, I found another face looking back at me from the space under the door. It was the father of that creepy kid. Our eyes met, and a chilling shiver ran down my spine. He had a scary-looking, expressionless face. My voice choked inside my throat, and I just forgot to scream. I was about to get up when suddenly that creepy kid jumped on me from above and started to laugh hysterically. "Boom, Mommy!" I screamed and tried to get him off me, but he was grasping my hair so tightly that the more I moved, the more he pulled my hair out. "Boom, Mommy!" Get off me! Get off me! The man started to laugh as well. Then why don't you open the door, Margot? This is not the way to behave with your son and husband. He then started banging on the bathroom door. Open it! Open it now! I knew no one would be able to hear me from this washroom. I have to save myself. I need to get out of here. I grabbed the kid by his neck and pulled him off my back. He bit me on the neck and then kicked in the air, but I was adamant. As soon as I pinned him on the bathroom wall, he realized I am bigger and stronger than him. The smile on his face wiped out and a tense look appeared. He said in a fumbling voice, But Mommy, I was just playing with you. I looked him in the eye and said, I'm not your fucking mommy. No matter what, I didn't want to hurt the child, so I just opened the door in one go and threw him on the man's lap and started running for my life. I was sprinting down the empty corridor while screaming for help. I turned back once and saw the man and his son. Both were chasing me like mad dogs. I luckily reached the waiting area before them and screamed at the top of my lungs, Help me! A few cabin crew associates came rushing and the security guards were called too. They caught the father and son at that moment and called the cops. I didn't take the flight that night because I wanted to know what the hell is wrong with these two. I went to the police station and gave my statement without missing a single detail. After a heavy interrogation, the cops finally found the truth. It was true that the man lost his wife, and since then, he is having mental issues, but the kid wasn't a kid. He is a full-grown man with a rare case of hypopituitarism. It's a rare hormonal disease that stunted his physical growth and caused proportional dwarfism. He spent most of his life posing like a little boy. Not just that, taking advantage of his medical condition, he has manipulated his brother in doing several criminal activities such as petty theft and robberies. And today, they plan to sexually abuse me or maybe even abduct me because the cops found chloroform and several sleeping pills from their bags. I wonder how they managed to fool the security in the airport. Still at night, I wake up seeing bad dreams. I see myself tied to a chair and that man standing beside me. All of a sudden, that creepy dwarf man jumps on me screaming, Boom, Mommy!